Welcome to this information session on the EIC Transition Program. This information session is structured in 4 parts. In the first part, I will provide you some information on the mindset of this program. In the second part, I will describe and provide information on the eligibility of projects which qualify for transition. In the third part, I will outline different pathways on how to implement a transition project. And the fourth part will consist on key information on the grant. What is the EIC Transition Program? In a nutshell, I think this quote nicely summarizes it. And that is that the transition program forms a bridge between research and application development. In other words, the EIC Transition Program provides funding to support maturation and validation of novel ideas from lab to business. So the EIC Transition Program is ideal for all those researchers and innovators that can answer each of the following 4 questions with a very clear yes. And that is, have you identified an EU-funded project or project results which have a promising commercial potential that could be the basis for innovation and promising new businesses? Secondly, is this novel and promising technology ready for next steps? Meaning, is it ready for maturation and validation? Thirdly, have you done a preliminary market analysis and have you identified potential markets? Also, have you identified potential competitors? Last but not least, do you envisage building a motivated and entrepreneurial team with a mix of skills that will travel this journey with you? If you can answer every of these 4 questions with a clear yes, then the EIC Transition Program could be of interest to you. Now, why is there such a program and what is the mindset of the program? The EIC Transition Program is one of 3 programs within the 3rd pillar of Horizon Europe in what is called the European Innovation Council. The EIC comes with these 3 different funding programs or funding vehicles. Each of them aligns at a different range on the scale of the technology readiness levels. On the very left, we have TRL1, which is basic research, basic principle observed, versus on the very right, we have TRL9, that is when the system has been proven in operational environment. So each of these funding programs funds the maturation, the progression of a technology from a certain starting level to a technology level further up. Today, we are focusing on the program called EIC Transition. EIC Transition funds the progression of a technology that is at least at TRL3, and it funds progression and maturation of this technology up to TRL6. This means the transition program requires a previous project to have discovered, developed, advanced a technology up to TRL3. Now, there's different types of projects which can be considered, but I need to add here a few words on their eligibility. So the following projects are eligible for EIC Transition. These are previous EIC Pathfinder projects, or also called FED projects under Horizon 2020. Also, ERC proof of concept projects are eligible, be it that they run under Horizon 2020 or Horizon Europe. And the third category of eligible projects are all the research and innovation actions within Horizon 2020. Now, it is important that the project is eligible, and it's also important that the technology is in the right range of maturity in order to be eligible for transition, as transition only funds starting from TRL 3 up to TRL 6. There's other additional remarks which need to be considered with regards to the eligibility of your project that you will build on. And there's actually two timing aspects which need to be considered. Firstly, if this project is still running, is still active, you got to make sure that there's at least 12 months between the start of the project and the deadline of the Transition Open call. In this case, the 18th of September 2024. If the project has already been completed, you got to make sure that there's not more than 30 months between the termination of the previous project and the deadline of the EIC transition call. As the aim is to mature the technology and bring it closer to the market, and the vision is to eventually have a commercial application, it is very important to already at early stage consider IPR. In case that the applicant for transition has already been part of the previous eligible project, it is important that the applicant confirms that it is the IPR owner and has the rights to commercialize the result of the project. In case that the applicants for the transition grant were not part of the previous project, then the coordinator of the transition project needs a commitment letter from the relevant owner. This is very important to keep in mind, because the long-term vision is to bring the technology to the market. Now, there's different pathways how such a transition project can be implemented. I will outline here a few, but this is a non-exhaustive list of examples on how to implement a transition project. And I will start with the first one, which assumes that a transition project is submitted as a collaborative project amongst different beneficiaries, be it researchers, SMEs, also technology transfer offers, and even potential customers. So these work in a collaborative approach and will directly exploit the project. That's one possible pathway. Another frequently seen pathway is that an individual SME has identified a market opportunity to apply these results of the project. And if this is the case, this is a mono-beneficiary approach. In this case, it is very likely that there will be a licensing agreement with this SME to exploit the technology. A third possible example how a transition project can be implemented is that of a team of entrepreneurial researchers within a research institute or a technology organization who have a project in mind where they want to further progress and develop to a viable product. In this case, these researchers might consider creating a startup or a spin-off company. These are three examples. There's many more. What is relevant for transition is that the applicant specifies which path to market they are going to pursue during the transition project. Now, a few key remarks on the grant per se. So with the EIC transition proposal, you can ask up to 2.5 million euros, and you can ask for 100% of the eligible costs, and it is a lump sum funding. A typical duration of a transition project is something between 1 and 3 years, and very important is to consider the window, the eligibility window of the technology readiness level. So you must start at least with technology readiness level 3, and you can only have all those actions funded that bring the technology up to maximum TRL 6. In these slides is provided the link to the call, and the next deadline for a EIC Transition Open call is the 18th of September 2024. For applicants from Switzerland, for this call, Switzerland is considered third country not associated to Horizon Europe. This means that applicants from Switzerland will participate as so-called associated partners. This means applicants from Switzerland cannot coordinate. They do not count towards the consortium size. And here is an example. If you have a partner from Germany, from Spain, from Italy, and Switzerland, this is considered a consortium of 3 because Switzerland does not, as an associated partner, does not count towards a consortium size. The third important remark on Switzerland participating as an associated partner: the budget of the Swiss partner does not count towards the total. Please note that there is a important document. It's called the financial guarantee, which is issued by the Swiss government. And what it guarantees is that if a consortium is successful, the partner from Switzerland will be paid not in euros through Brussels, but will be paid through the Swiss government in Swiss francs. So for this EIC Transition Open call, Switzerland is eligible for participation, but the funding will come from the Swiss government. Now, with regards to the EIC transition regulations for the consortium, how can you apply? You can apply as a single legal entity established in a member state or an associated country. I give you an example of an eligible so-called consortium of 1. This would be having a partner from Germany plus a partner from Switzerland. This is a consortium of 1 because Switzerland does not count towards the consortium size. You can also apply to EIC Transition as a consortium of 2. In this case, you need 2 legal entities which are independent from each other and which are from 2 different either European member states or countries associated to the Horizon Europe program. The transition program also allows applications of 3 up to maximum 5 independent legal entities. This is now a clearly multi-beneficiary approach. In that case, you need at least 1 member state and at least 2 other independent and different member states or associated countries. And shown here on the slide is an example of a consortium of 5, being Germany, France, Italy, Spain, and Portugal, plus Switzerland. So you can apply either as a single legal entity, 2 entities, or 3 up to maximum 5 legal entities, as long as you fulfill the rules outlined here. Should you have questions to the transition program, please feel free to drop us an email on transition@uresearch.ch, and we will be happy to help you. Many thanks.